Welcome to Triple Feature. It is now a countdown of A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Rapid Fire! Number 9 is Freddy's Dead. I don't know if you've ever actually seen this movie, but nobody actually likes it at all. And there's a good reason because the movie just falls flat the entire time. Now, it's not as bad as a lot of people actually say, but the jokes get really stupid, really quick. It's got a power glove. This guy's head exploding. He acts like he's from the Wizard of Oz. None of it's really that good. And nothing in that correctly. And if you've seen the end of the first one of this one, not sure how this is actually the end of being Freddy's Dead because it doesn't make any sense. Number 8, this will be a little bit controversial, but is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Why is it number 8? So many people love it so much. Freddy does not show up for an hour and 20 minutes into this film. In a 2-hour film, Freddy not showing up for an hour 20 minutes is unforgivable. Screw this film. Number 7, A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Dream Master. This movie just overall is kind of forgettable, except for the last scene, which has amazing practical effects. But a dog pees and brings Freddy back to life. I don't know. There's just a lot of stupid jokes. There's a lot of things going on. I just forget almost all of this movie. Most of the kills, absolutely just the movie. Just bleh. All right. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. Number 6, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, the one with all the homosexual overtones and everyone's turned on. Yeah, that's the whole thing about this movie. You got like a PE teacher showing up in a leather vest and everything like that, and he's getting ready to do some stuff. I think I understood those parts. It's kind of like woo. But this movie's really not really your regular Nightmare on Elm Street film. It's really more of just a haunted house and a possession film. And it's got some cool practical effects. The movie's not as bad as a lot of people say it is, but it's definitely lower on the list because it's not really a Freddy movie overall, but it actually has some cool stuff. But nobody cared about the kills. What about the kills? The kills in this are just boring. Nobody cared about the kills. They just didn't do the kills cool at all. Number 5, on Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake, the reboot. I don't know what you'd actually call it. This movie is not as bad as most people are saying, but it definitely misses the mark. It tries to just redo things for part 1, and it just doesn't do it as good. So who really cares, right? It used to way too much CGI. So, but the new guy that plays Freddy, he's creepy. He's cool. They make some cool changes in the story, but it just really overall, you're like, we could do this better. We could actually make an actual decent film. But in the end, they were just like, Number 4, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. This movie, everyone says they really love a whole bunch, and I understand that this is probably really disrespectful. Most people have this in 1 or 2, and here's my main problem with this film. It's so goofy. Now, there are some amazing things. Snake Freddy, woo, I like that. It's really cool. And I really love a lot of the different things in this movie because it has a lot of awesome things, but it also has kids doing flips and saying, I'm a magician, and they wear stupid robes, and they're like, I can bend things. I don't care about any of that kind of stuff, and it actually really took me out of the film. So it really brought the movie down where it could be number 1 easily if it stayed away from that. Because Freddy's... This story gets kind of goofy, but he's not too goofy. He just has some cool one-liners every once in a while. But again, too goofy for me, so whatever. That's where it's at. Number 3, and this one will be the most controversial at all because everyone seems to actually hate this movie, but I don't care what anybody says. A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. Now, I remember not liking this movie at all growing up. This was one that was just very forgettable to me, but this movie had some of the most memorable stuff to me ever. There's baby Freddy. There's his mom. There's some amazing things at the end. These amazing effects. This one has actually some interesting plot lines that I actually was interested the whole time. Yes, it actually has some kills, like the whole comic book kill, which is absolutely just ridiculously stupid. There is some really stupid stuff in this too, but the plotline overall really did bring me in. It actually made me very interested. In number 2, Freddy versus Jason. Again, most people don't like this movie. They talk about this not being actually good as all these other ones, but this movie is fun. It's got problems. It could be so much better with a few editing issues and a few more explanations. And again, we don't need so many Freddy jokes at different times, but they file Freddy's teeth down, and that's freaking rad. You got to love that. And then the adding of Jason in there, the whole thing that he uses Jason, he has some cool kills, and this has one of the coolest scenes of all time in Nightmare on Elm Street at the end of Freddy turning into like this red demon, him flying out of the water in slow-mo. He looks the creepiest he's ever looked. It is one of the raddest scenes in this whole series. If you don't like that series, then screw off. Number 1, and this is the original Nightmare on Elm Street. The top 3 for me really could go either way because I don't think this is the most rewatchable actually for me, but I think that it's got such memorable kills and not exactly inventive as some of the other ones, but it actually has these really inventive kills and really creepy actual moments, and probably the creepiest in the whole series. And it's the original that really brings it and stuff, except for the last scene. I don't like the finale of this thing, bringing Freddy out and then like using traps like Home Alone. It's stupid. It doesn't work, and that's what brought this movie down. Almost made it not number 1 because that's dumb. And then the pulling through of the whole mannequin at the end, that movie just different stocks. Whatever. Rapid Fire, we're out.